The coronavirus has changed so many aspects of society, for some temporarily and others in ways that are likely to be permanent. And one such example is the workplace environment and our expectations around the office of the future. Right now, businesses are pulling at the future of office footprints, and one is the need for more space to accommodate physical distancing protocols. The other is the need to reduce the number of people working from the office with more people working remotely. In a post-vaccine world, physical distancing requirements will cease to exist, but the changes to the way people work are here to stay. To share a few tips on how companies can actually keep a positive culture with employees working remotely, we're joined by CEO of Workshop 17, Paul Keursten. Paul Keursten, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Very good morning to you.
What is that one thing that companies can actually do to improve organizations' culture?
One thing that's difficult to say, I think what is really important is human contact. And human contact has been not easy when you're working remotely. So I think that's where companies have been struggling a little bit. In the beginning, everyone was happy and feeling like it's more efficient. People don't sit in traffic. But what is missing is that informal human contact that you have at the office when you walk and you meet someone in the hallway, and when you have a coffee together and you exchange something that proves to be valuable for your work, or just that energy of being with other people. And luckily there are some tools that you can use to work on a distance. We're using one of them at the moment, like Zoom. There's different video conferencing tools that gives you a little bit of human connection. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, people, what I'm hearing about, people are a little bit tired of looking at a screen, and they really want to be with a human in the space, in one area. And I think what companies can do is really make sure that it's safe at the office at this point in time. And I see companies creating schedules of people coming in, not every day. We at Workshop 17, we have our members making a roster that there is, some people come in 2 days a week, and then some come in other 2 days a week. You plan who you want to see, who you want to meet. And it gives that kind of a mix between working from home and working at an office, because remote working is not only working from home, it's working at an office, but it's also meeting people at a space like a Workshop 17 where you feel safe, because we're very aware that safety is key at the moment, especially in this second wave. So the protocols that you were speaking about are very, very important. We cannot be complacent about those.
Yeah, sure. And how then do we create a healthy working environment for employees, even if they're still based at home?
Look, I think one thing is ergonomics. The companies we're working with have come to us, and people say it's not always easy at home because you're sitting at the kitchen table. You don't always have an ergonomic chair. You're competing with things happening in the kitchen. There's kids working from school. So a healthy and a productive work is also creating that physical environment that you feel like you can concentrate on, and at the same time feel comfortable. So a good chair, for instance, is something that is really, really valuable. Put your computer and a desk and a bit of a height so you don't lean over all the time. Create good lighting. Those very first principles make you feel less tired of sitting at a desk at home for the whole day. Mm-hmm. Then the second part is creating a bit of a structure. Create a rhythm, create a time, create breaks. Don't get sucked in at your screen the whole day. Yes. Get up, get outside, do some physical exercise, but also create some social time with your family. But create a structure and a timing for that.
And I suppose the positive company culture comes into the fore as we're having this discussion. I mean, a positive culture fosters a sense of employee loyalty, and employees are much more likely to stay with the current employer if they feel that they're being treated right. So what's an example of a positive company culture, Paul?
I think that's a culture where there's also some people connection, where you also call each other and connect about how are you doing? How are you feeling today? What's happening at the home? How are your kids? It's not only about the job content. And that is something that is that needs special attention, especially when you don't meet each other over coffee at the office. Check in with colleagues. When you hear about something, just follow up and say, how is your kid doing? I've heard a family member came down with COVID. What is happening? How are you feeling about it? It's that personal connection, because that is what people feel valued. Not so much, we're people first, all of us. And then we fulfill a role in a company, and we must have responsibility for that role, but never forget that there's more to that, to life, than only that.
And how then can a company's culture be lost?
I think it slips through your fingers quite easily if you don't really pay special attention to it. If you don't, like I said, call people. But also I think it's time to make sure that people have some physical contact. We have, for instance, quite a few people now from corporates also coming in who cannot come into the office, but come into a space like a Workshop 17 where they know it's safe, but where they also can connect with other people, have a nice coffee or a nice lunch, have a little bit of change of environment. I think that is, offer your people that opportunity. I think the second one is really creating that kind of informal chats. And when you're busy, everyone does it, and you feel like, the day's gone and I should have connected, I should have followed up with that one. Use the tools that are there. Use tools like chat tools like Microsoft Teams or Slack or Zulip. Use WhatsApp groups, the things that people connect with, and celebrate together. When something nice happens,
yes,
let other people know, because that you don't see from each other when you're working remotely.
Sure.
It's really that positivity, bringing that in every day and creating some energy.
Yeah, and imagine having your employees waking up every single day and actually looking forward to getting back to work and work with their colleagues whom they enjoy having around. But then quite a number of employees feel unrecognized for their work while working remotely. How then do you change those that feel this way?
I think that comes to feedback and acknowledgement. It's really that. Don't take things for granted. When something comes, even on a digital platform, say that's work well done, wonderful. Take a half an hour off. Take some time, sit with your family. The acknowledgement of the work and acknowledgement of the person and the situation that's in makes people feel seen, and feeling seen is so important. And I think all managers need to really pay some attention to that, because it doesn't come automatically, as I said before, because you don't see each other.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes call without a reason. Call just to check in.
Right. Right. You know, Paul, mental strength is extremely important. How then do you support your employee mentally?
I think it's two ways. Sometimes it's just the fun ways of. We did some time as a company, 2 times a week. We worked out together in the mornings, and
okay,
one of the team would lead the session and would prepare some exercises. And that's just fun when you see partners joining in the background on the screen. That is one little thing, but it's also the physical part we mustn't forget, because do some exercises also creates the dopamine, creates some positive energy. But then also provide for counseling, or for some person that people can connect to, like, geez, I'm struggling to manage kids, homeschooling, things from home, the noise in the background, my neighbors are constructing at the home. How do I manage? Just some people to connect to lay off steam, or even worse, it's been a long time yet with the virus. We've been a long time at home. The second wave is here. We really provide counseling opportunities. If someone's struggling, try to find out and give them the opportunity to stimulate to do some counseling.
And how often would you advise the manager or HR personnel to check on the well-being of their employees?
Look, it is difficult to say. I think I would check in with everyone at least once a week.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be like a rhythm or like a standard that people think, oh, Monday morning, 10 o'clock, my manager's checking it. Then it becomes a procedure.
Okay.
Sometimes do it right, but make it linked to what you hear and what you see. Keep your ears open, and your eyes open, even on the screen. But also check in with others. Do you know someone of our team that might be struggling? Could I give someone a call? I've heard of a personal situation. Let me check via WhatsApp. and say, would you appreciate a call? Can I call you tomorrow? That kind of just that human behavior that you would do when you speak to people, or what you would do with your family or your friends, do the same with your employees and your colleagues.
Yeah, good point you've made, Paul. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we just spoke to the CEO of Workshop 17, Paul Keursten, sharing a few tips on how companies can keep a positive culture with employees working remotely. This is Morning Live on SABC News. Let's take a quick break.